Recording. We're now recording, so welcome to the College Career and Life Readiness Committee meeting. We have a quorum now, and our first agenda item is the ELA curriculum uh, resolution that was referred to our committee, and Representative Goulet, thanks for joining us to tell us your vision for what this resolution might include. So we'll turn it to you to get your thoughts, and if you could just kind of let us know the parameters that you're thinking about so that we can draft accordingly.
Yeah, so I took the first stab at this and I just sent it to all of you and I can read it right now. Uh, Apologize that I'm on an iPhone here. My computer hard drive crashed and I'm trying to get that redone. So I'm going to go off camera for a second and read this from another screen real quick, just so I can read the resolution, which should be in your inbox, and I just sent it. So I'm going to just go off camera and then go try to go do it that way. So one second. So can you still hear me okay, Representative Henderson?
Yeah.
We can now, yes.
Okay, fantastic. So the draft of the resolution that I sent focuses on the research that we got from the expert panel at our March public meeting, and then also on the information that was received in the article and discussions with DO parents on this. And I know we'll probably want to reach out. I know there's experts that were formerly on the board. Representative O'Leary is an expert on this. We had, even cited as one of the sources was Ruth Wattenberg. So I definitely want to reach out to both of them. And I realize this is just, a draft of this resolution. I want to read kind of the resolve clauses, though, because I think those are what's important. So I just wanted to make sure that the committee agreed, at least in substance, with what I was going to suggest here. And this is what the panel had recommended. So the first be it resolved is that when a school is considering a change to curriculum, they should provide notice to the local school advisory team or a comparable parent-teacher association, perhaps in some of the charters, and discuss their rationale for the proposed change. Allow the LSAT to provide feedback and then consider the feedback of the LSAT before making a final decision. I don't go so far in this as to try to require the school to follow the LSAT's recommendations on the curriculum, but I do want to strongly advise the inclusion of the LSAT in that process, because I think that transparency and that feedback is very valuable. The next resolve clause states that the inclusion of reading whole texts, including multiple full-length novels, should be part of any OSCE-approved middle school ELA curriculum in the district. This was emphasized by most of the panelists of the importance of including texts that were longer than short passages in ELA, particularly for middle school. Then be it further resolved that in order to improve concentration, cognitive endurance, and reading skills necessary to succeed in college, that LEAs should select curricula that include multiple full-length, long-form texts, including full-length novels. The next resolve clause was that although independent reading of full-length novels, while beneficial, is not a substitute for required reading of full-length novels in class, because the classroom discussion of literary themes with peers allows students to explore and discuss different perspectives. And then be it finally resolved that when weighing comparative benefits of ELA curricula, that the development of long-term skills needed for a student's future success should be prioritized over the development of test-taking skills that would benefit the LEA more than the student. So what I've tried to do is capture some of the testimony from our public panel, some of the facts that we've seen here in the district, and then also try to take the first draft at doing the resolve clauses here. I mean, I would ask if the committee is willing to uh, move this forward with the understanding that we would continue to work on it with staff, just so that we can keep it on pace for the upcoming public meeting, which would be the working session in April, and I'm sorry, the working session in May, and then the public meeting in May. The reason I think that's important is I just want to make sure we get something in place that encourages schools that may be considering curriculum changes for 26 and 27 to engage with their LSATs and talk to parents and get the reaction of parents and give it great weight in the decisions. So that's the draft that I've presented, and I'm glad to answer any questions and excited to work with the committee on this issue.
All right, thank you, Representative Goulet. Any questions, Representative Mazumdar or Thompson?
No questions. Glad you are planning to reach out to Representative O'Leary. I know that's something we discussed, and I'm sure Representative Wattenberg has thoughts as well.
Yeah, and thank you for that suggestion of thinking of Representative O'Leary. I think he'll be a real asset in adding to this resolution and strengthening it.
Happy to. I don't have any questions, and I expect we'll have more discussion at the working session. So, happy to hear what others.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak before the committee today, and I look forward to working with both of you on finalizing this and continuing to improve it. And I have no pride of authorship on it, so I'm excited to work with my colleagues on it.
All right, Representative Mazumdar, any questions?
No, I have no questions. This makes sense to me, and I'm excited to talk more about it with the other representatives at the working session.
All right, thank you. Haley, any questions from you? I don't know if you have been able to put your eyes on it yet or not. But
I have
anything you'd want to
not.
ask? Okay.
And Haley, my
Um,
apologies for that. I only could see online the members of the committee, so I wasn't, certain who was going to be covering it. So I'll make sure I forward it to you as well.
okay, thank you. I can let you know of anything I see before the working session, as we take a look at it as staff.
I mean, there's a lot of work to do. I didn't even put the footnotes down below. I just kept them up above. So I look forward to working with you on getting it into the proper form that we would have, when we would present it at the public meeting.
Okay, of course.
All right. I don't think I have any questions. I see, in your first resolved clause, opening up not just using the DCPS language, but also the relevant term for a charter school maybe would be a parent teacher organization. There may be some other categories we want to include there just to make sure that that's relevant for the charters as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think there may be a few things we want to add in the whereas from the panel, but I think we can.
Absolutely. And I'll continue working on that, Representative Henderson, so that I can
Yeah,
get
and
that to you.
if you can, keep us up to date on what you find from Representative O'Leary and Wattenberg, would be great.
I will. I'll work with Haley on getting a second draft of this to you all well before the working session so you can see it and make additional changes. And I'd love to hear from you because you have more charter schools in your ward than I have in mine to kind of hear what those different titles would be of those parent groups who kind of do the role of an LSAT.
All right, thank you. Um, we can call a vote for moving this forward to the working session. So I'll ask the committee members all in favor of moving it ahead to the working session, say aye.
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 An aye as well. And that's everyone.
Well, thank you all. I won't stay for the duration of the meeting, but I really appreciate the time on this lot today and for putting up with my technological limitations at the moment until I get my computer back. So
No problem.
thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Representative Goulet. All right, our next agenda item is graduation requirements work. Debriefing the task force meeting. Representative Mazumdar, I don't know if you were there at the last meeting, if you were online or not. But we did complete almost all of our voting. We voted on every proposal except for uh, one of the two that Sally Schwartz brought to us and presented at that meeting. We've now Haley has completed a draft of the report reflecting all of the final votes that we took, except for that one. That voting form is out to the task force now, and we've asked for a vote from everyone by 6 p.m. today. And then we will incorporate that into the report. And the report itself, the draft, is out for review with all the task force members. And we have requested any comments back by next Monday at 9 a.m. to give task force members the weekend and some time to review. And what we're asking for is if there's something from the discussion that we had that's not reflected in the report, so that we can make sure that that's included. And in case anyone in the public sees this, the report is going to convey the votes of the task force on each of the recommendations from OSSI, as well as a few proposals that were made by task force members. We are including dissenting views so that readers can see the main arguments, discussion points that we had for each issue. And there are also suggestions around implementation for each of the proposals. And Haley, is there anything you would add to that?
I don't think so. I was just gonna let Student Representative Mazumdar know that you were included on those emails for the review period. So as a task force member, you were also welcome to share any feedback or any additional rationale you would like added.
For sure. Yeah, I just submitted the form with the voting stuff, including the additional proposed change that was sent like earlier today or yesterday.
Okay.
But yeah, I will definitely look over that and give my feedback.
Thank you. Anything else, Representative Thompson, or we can move to the next agenda item? I'm gonna
Nope,
assume we're all good. All right, thank you. Our next agenda item is to talk about site visits. So first, to debrief the visit that we had to River Terrace. Thank you, Representative Thompson, for initiating that. And Representative Thompson, Representative Johnson Law, and myself were there, as well as Abe Clayman and Glenn Starnes, another representative from DCPS, whose name I did not catch. But we were able to meet with Principal Cepeda. We also were able to tour several classrooms. This visit was not in the as we've talked about this over the past year. We've talked a lot about creating a feedback loop for standards. This visit was not so much oriented towards getting feedback on specific standards. It was more oriented around learning about graduation pathways for SPED students. We had a lot of discussion about the practical studies diploma proposal, and also the paths that students at River Terrace are currently taking. and learned about some of the opportunities that they are currently taking. I really appreciated the chance to have that visit. I don't know uh, if Representative Thompson or Mazumdar, if you have ideas of uh, if something tangible should come out of it, or subsequent site visits, if we should have a like a brief report out or synopsis, or if it's just to inform us. Um, and we just lost a representative. Maybe she's switching devices.
Did you lose quorum?
Did we lose quorum? Student members count towards quorum, right? We have, but we have
Yes,
we have 2 out of 5 now.
5.
Yeah, so we probably did lose quorum. And she's
Oh,
back. All right. So, any thoughts on that, Representative Mazumdar?
I think that at least, well, I didn't attend the site visit, but I think with the
Mm,
Repertoire site visit in particular, that it aligns closely to like the work we're currently doing with graduation requirements and the practical studies diploma. Um, so I think that might have more relevance, but I think in terms of like future site visits, um, a report out could have merit, but I don't know if it necessarily like we necessarily need to have a specific report for each site visit we do,
hmm
depending on if it connects to like the work that we as a committee or we as a board are currently doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you. Um, and so we also want to check in on uh, future visits that we've already discussed, to IDEA and ATC. And Representative Thompson, I'll turn to you uh, to see if there's been any developments on scheduling that, or if we want to um,
Mm-hmm.
kind of target a date or.
Did so I did include the ATC on the request for the aid. So let's follow up with aid to get that scheduled somewhere between Abe and Andrew. I did not follow up with IDEA. I dropped the ball on that, so I need to actually get that email out. It is in the same place as the email I said I was going to send over Terrace, which I will send to the committee. I did take a couple videos of the instruction in particular that I think will be helpful for our continued conversation with the practical studies diploma as the task force representative. As the task force goes to the full board. So I'll make sure to share those things so we can consider them alongside the task force recommendation. I also did have a conversation with the Carpenters Union because they have a facility. We talked after the panel with the young man from Phelps, and they are actually interested in having the board visit if that's something we would like to do. So I will make sure to get emails out and put my co-chair on them so he can hold me accountable. So next meeting, I can come back and say, all these things are scheduled.
That sounds good. And I think, these three in particular align with our interest in CTE specifically. And I think that's a great next area of focus. And I would like us to, myself included, to start thinking about kind of the next area we want to examine. I think like I might be interested in moving to getting some feedback on implementation of the social studies standards next. If uh, that's one possibility. Happy to hear other thoughts for kind of what we follow up on next. Um, I know we have the list. I haven't looked at the list recently, but uh, I could start populating that with some possibilities around social studies.
Yeah, I think social studies and SEL is the
SEL.
other one. I know Dr. Grant from Monument. Why would he do this? Sorry, I'm looking for a parking space. He clearly just took up two. I can park over here. I know Dr. Grant from Monument. He was interested in having us visit them as a middle school that is doing good work with SEL. Their school is pretty much based on that premise. So I'll add that to the list. So they are interested
Yeah, I
in
think
hosting.
that's great. And I think it would be important for us to try to hit different levels, elementary, middle, and high school, on these various topics. Any other thoughts about site visits? I think that in addition to, we've got the PE standards and then continuing with the graduation requirements. I feel like the next big piece of work for us is doing those site visits and trying to get um, more of that feedback on how implementation is going. And I will pause here. Ebony Rose probably just like turned her car off and will be back momentarily. We need some hold music to play.
Also gonna switch devices briefly because I have to start heading over back to my school from work.
Oh,
But
okay.
I will be back in a second.
Thank you. We are allowed to talk, I suppose, just not conduct any board business, right?
Yes. I'm just here for support and information.
Are you in the new office?
I am. We moved in today. Everybody is back today. They got everything moved over, so we're just getting our desks, set back up and everything.
Awesome.
Yeah, everybody can come take a look at during the next public meeting. Representative Mazumdar, is the school year almost over for you?
It is. I have been out of school since March because my school like ends in the second trimester, and then that third trimester, like all the coursework is done. And then the third trimester you can use to pursue senior project. So like a research coupled with an off-campus internship. So I've been working since March, which has been very fun. But I'm heading back to school actually to coach my debate team. So
Awesome. That's
When,
exciting.
when do you transition from debater to coach?
I have been coaching a couple students. Well, I've been captain of my team for a while, who is coaching there, but I've been coaching a couple students over this past school year, basically. And over the summer, I'm going to be working at my debate camp as like functionally a camp counselor. So yeah, the transition's kind of happening. It's an ongoing process, I guess.
Do we want to try to contact Representative Thompson?
Yeah, I'll check in.
We just have one more agenda item.
Yeah.
Here she is.
Okay.
Sorry, I lost service, but I'm back. Thank you.
We are glad to have you back. So the last agenda item is to discuss, it's a follow-up and maybe it seems like a middle step in what we started to talk about at the last working session when we were reviewing the dashboard, to have a public facing uh, look at our strategic priorities, and then we're talking about ways to communicate success and progress for our committee uh, towards that goal, or that priority. Uh, Haley, feel free to jump in if I'm not explaining this right, but what we're looking for is talking about ways to measure our progress. And next month, Director Butler will come to discuss more. But this is an opportunity for us to think together about what that might look like. And so I'll go ahead and start. I think one thing with the graduation requirements being aligned with uh, our priorities, I think just sharing progress we've made as through the task force, including the engagements that we had, and then the meetings and reports, or report that we are working on, is one area. And then with the site visits, I think we can certainly convey the number of site visits we've done. As it's useful, maybe we will have some kind of report out from site visits. Any other thoughts on what we might want to measure and what that might look like?
No, they'll sound right to me. I would say bonus points for getting the high school graduation requirements done, and the fact that we had a task force. Maybe something around like the engagement we've done specifically might also be good. Like when we've gotten feedback and engagement.
Yeah, agreed. So we had the engagement sessions, the survey. We've also had multiple panels oriented around the graduation requirements. So we've definitely had a lot of touch points on getting public feedback around graduation requirements and the various iterations of proposals.
Also be time for you to discuss anything that you felt was missing from the description of the priority that aligns to your committee, the college and career readiness. I know that that came up in the working session of wanting to explain more about the why or anything additionally you'd like to add to that description. So that can also be something you can discuss now.
I have to be honest that I don't remember what that looked like. Haley, it looks like maybe are you able to share that, or
I may be able to.
not a problem if you can't. You just started typing as if maybe you were conjuring it up.
I am taking a look and seeing if I can do that.
This could also be homework for us in preparation for the visit from Director Butler.
I believe it is referring to the description that is on the public SBOE website, which I can share. I can put the link in the chat as well if you're having a hard time reading. But the goal, promote excellence and opportunity for all students, is the one that aligns with this committee.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah, I guess not really sure what is conveyed or what is supposed to be conveyed by the word modernize there. Um,
I believe that is just taken from Aussie's language.
yeah, I'm not sure that aligns super well with what we're doing, but uh, I might say like strengthening. And I like the implementation feedback loops. That's what we're trying to do. Um, so I don't have any other comments. Any other comments from the committee?
Nothing from me.
Nothing from me as well.
Okay. All right. So we are we going to talk about this at all at the working session? Probably not, because we have a lot of other stuff.
I don't believe it is on the calendar for this working session, but I think it is expected to be continued in committee work next month.
Yeah. So I guess if Haley, if you get an impression from Director Butler that she will need something more from us before she visits, let us know, and we can address that by email before the next meeting.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask if there's anything for new business.
Nothing from me.
None from me either.
Okay. I have one thing. I do plan to bring up at the working session an issue that may or may not find its way back to us, uh, which is around education technology. Uh, I put it in the queue for panel proposals. It's something that constituent brought to me, and I know to Representative Colson, who's a Ward 4 resident, and we both spoke with them, and it's something that I think is worth some more investigation. And so I proposed it as a panel possibility, and just want to highlight that it may be something that comes back to this committee, or maybe it won't, but just wanted to flag that for everyone.
That makes sense. I guess I don't have I guess similar to it not being a full thought, and I have not submitted it. Thank you. I I do think we should delve a little bit more into some of the course equivalency conversations. I don't see
Okay.
them as a graduation requirement. I see it as implementation more so, but
Hmm.
given OSSI has now released the course catalog, and this has come up in several places in the requirements, I do think we should have a conversation about it, or at least have maybe some way of initiating a conversation with OSSI about it. And so I think of that as a future thing. I don't have fully big thoughts on it, but I see it continue to come up in the grad requirements conversation. And I
Hmm.
do think it needs its own place.
Yeah, thank you. I agree. And if I recall correctly, there was a conversation that we had with Aussie in which they uh, referenced having put out some guidance on that years ago, and that maybe it's time to revisit. But yes, thank you for raising that.
No, agree. Thank you, Representative Henderson, for running the meeting, since clearly, as I have been driving, my service has not been the most reliable. So that would have been a disaster. So thank you for the pinch hit at the last minute.
Sure, no problem. And thank you all for joining. I think that's our agenda, and so we can adjourn.